Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, it's Greg here again with the first update on the buddy build between me and Paul, and also you're going to enter the group build that's hosted by Joachim and Marcus. It's heavy, I can never remember the title, heavy weapons and heavy tanks, I think, something like that. So it's sort of my first sort of group build I've actually joined, so I hope I should get it finished in time, hopefully, if I don't start being trying to be too clever and do something different. But so far so good. The kit itself, no problems at all. The PE set I bought from the shop's fault, from ET Models. All the numbers are on the sprues. Where we are? Here we are. You've got the fenders, which I'll show you that as we're going along. On here, especially on a sprue B, every single number on there is wrong. For instance, it says, where we are? Where was the one I was doing yesterday? Where we at? What I was doing yesterday? I was on that one. Is it on this one? Yeah, these on the aluminium, so the can magazine for the gun, these were all labelled wrong. Every single one was labelled wrong, but luckily they're quite big to, you can see what they are. But 90% of the numbers are wrong. For some strange reason they're wrong. You have to go around and find every single one that you need to find by trying to work out which size is which. A couple of, as I show you as I'm going along, anyhow, I'll put this away for now. That's my only gripe so far with the build. The kit itself is no problem. Fitty shoes, again, I had no problems with the fitty shoes or anything like that. So we'll go for what we've got done. We'll start with a couple of little figures. Maybe going to do a couple more, not sure yet. We've got these have just cleaned up. There's no paint on them at all yet, so I've got 3 figures there, and he's having a cigarette, this guy here, and these two are just having a drink. But yeah, I think I might add one more figure to that yet. We shall see. But the figure's basically done, made I should say. Now we just need priming and highlighted and shadowed, and then we can start doing a paint job. So they're going on for definite. Right, with the fenders, I've made all, it comes in 2 parts, obviously the fenders. These are fairly straightforward, these weren't any problem at all. But the mudguards, I may add the mudguards, I'm not sure yet, I may add one, I may not. But that came with the pack as well, the ET Models one as well, but they were fairly straightforward to build, no problems. Got the nice bit of detail, you can damage them up. This bit here I'm going to damage up more and whatever. But yeah, they went to go quite well. You have to be careful when you're folding the narrow edge down here, because it was so narrow, and I haven't got a big 1/4" bender, or a ruler couldn't get in there because it was too wide. So I just took my time with it and used the PE bender to best I can, and I got fairly straight lines in them, so I'm quite happy with those. Because it's also going to, it'll do another job for me as well, which I didn't realise until I started putting the kit together, that once you got the upper hull and the lower hull together, you could see the tracks through it. There was just a big hole, so that's going to be perfectly going to cover them up. So let's start off where we are. We'll leave that bit to last. The lower hull, it's very detailed, got all the bits and bobs. I haven't got the return rollers on yet. They it's not too bad. Adds a bit of texture on the bottom and a couple of weld seams to the lifting eyes, or what you want to call them. You got a dam on there and a weld seam along the bottom, which wasn't there. And on this side we've got a bit of a cast texture, just once taken down a little bit, and I've done the same again. I've put weld seams along the lifting eyes and on the bottom again. yeah, that went together fairly simple. So this is all cast textured as well on this part. It runs right from the top cover right down to there, so I've done that, and on the other side as well. It's nice. It's fairly solid, fairly sturdy. Luckily I'm not wanting it to be workable, even though I've got the metal tracks, but yeah, so that's the main base done. As you know me by now, I have all the little bits and pieces prepared. All the wheels are done in there, and the barrel cleaning rods and some other bits and bobs are all in there. These are fairly straightforward to clean up. Even though you can see the marks on there, they are smooth. There's no lip on there at all. So, but yeah, so that came out okay. You have to put these hubs on separately. But they're nice, you know, there's no, just steel wheel, there's no rubber or anything like that on these kind of things, so it should be a fairly easy paint job for that. Just run a pencil or some metal powder which I've got, which I'll run across the top of there to show wear. Yep, so that's all that's in that one. In this one we've cleaned up the hatches for the top. We've got some part of the machine gun done. Let's just get my tweezers out of here. Any set will do, apart from them because they're not tweezers. These will do. As normal, prepared. Yeah, so this is the for the ammunition. I haven't quite finished yet, got the lid to go on there yet. You can make it workable if you need to. I may well do, I don't know yet. We've got this like a you know, a splash board that goes on there at some point as well. So that's very simple to put on that one. The hatches I had to take out a injection marks, but they were fairly easy to take out. Luckily they weren't in daft places, so they're taken out on all four of them, split hatches. The gun cradle, it's an option, on or off. Past the machine gun again, all is cleaned up. Machine gun itself, I've drilled out the hole at the end. Let me see, it's all cleaned up. No other bits added to it yet, just the basic machine gun at the moment with the hole hollowed out at the end. So that's all that's in that one at the moment. And in here we have the return roll, sorry, the idler wheels, and some more bits of PE. Here we've got the these are little braces that go onto the side skirts when they go on. So there's 6 of those. I like to fold them up. I think they were in 3 parts. So they're all ready. This part here goes on the between the toe highs, toe hooks. It sits in between the 2 spare ones. It sits in between. That goes in between them. What else is in there? A few muck guard bits on the bottom to bend, which I've started to bend on that one for damages. That's the one I'm going to add to that one. That's going to go on one side, and the other one isn't going to have one on. I think that's it in there. Yeah, I've got these pieces to add, the mud cleaner scraper type thing, but once I've got the wheels on I'll add that, because it's a bugger to get in between wheels on if you put that on first. So they're all cleaned up as well. There's a few seam marks to clean up on this kit, but it wasn't too bad. Right, and then we got the main bit, which I've got to add texture to the breech, sorry, to the mantlet. It was a nice one. I thought I'd add this a little bit more, knock down, and added some PE cast numbers, if you can see those on the side there, and then we just, you know, scraped it off a little bit where the paint went, the texture went on there. In fact, I used a different one this time. I didn't use Mr. Surfacer this time. I've had it for quite a while and I've never used it. It's Easy Cast Texture Medium. I've got that AK stuff and it's quite nice, easy to use. Just the same sort of thing as using Mr. Surfacer. But I don't know where I got this from, I can't remember now, but it works really well. Yeah, works really well. So I'll pop that back up there. Right, and then we get to the main part of the hull. As you can see, I've textured the front part again on there, and if you look closely I've textured and got a rolled steel effect on the main upper hull, so the turret, what was I going to say, the fighting compartment, and I've added I added the metal ones because I wanted to damage him. If you look closely with the PE sheet, you actually got the little weld marks. Where we are, can we see them on the handles where they're attached to the vehicle? Oh, that was quite nice, so I used those. There's one moved, one has moved, it didn't have to be glued back on. It was not going to come off, so I'll just put it in there. And again I've added them onto the back. They're all damaged and bent and misshapen. Added these little toe eyes to the hatch here for the engine cover, and on the rear as well we have two on the covers there, little rings, put them on there and made this on here as well. I had to cut out the plastic ones and add these. That just needs pushing down a little bit and glue, but I had to reinforce this because it was very flimsy, otherwise there was nothing for this to go on to, so I had to reinforce it, which I'll show you in a second. But you just need to tack that down a little bit, I think. But the kit itself went together no problem. You know, I've not used no filler yet, as they say. It's quite a nice detail on there. I could do the hatches, the hinges, but these are quite more than acceptable, the hinges on there. Yes, so underneath, as I have to use part of I used the part I cut out and a bit of this sprue as well, just on there, just to give it some purchase and to hold on to, because there's a bit of a gap if I didn't, when it's connected to the fighting compartment on there. I was toying with the idea of drilling this out and making it hollow, but I think it's quite adequate, to be honest. Once it's sprayed and covered and weathered, you're not going to really know the difference on there. So yeah, so that's where I'm at so far. I'm quite happy with the texture. Oh, this is the little part. This was all labelled wrong as well. This case, or what do you want to call it, little hatch thing, cover. I don't know what is it. It could be an ammunition box or some kind of box or whatever it is. But yeah, they were all labelled wrong as well, so I was looking for parts and they weren't labelled right. So, but you can see the texture on there, which I've got. All I did was just bounce a little Dremel on there, and then I used Mr. Surfacer 1000 and just stippled it slightly, and then got a cocktail stick and done a few little, not scratches, but you know, just little marks in it just to bring it out a little bit. So I'm quite happy with that. And then once it was all dried, I just give it a light sand as well, so I've got the texture on there. And I've also added a bit of damage to the front as well. Got a couple of hits, one just ricocheted and gone off the top of the casemate there, and some little small arms fire as well. Might add a little bit more to here. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with the build so far. And if I show you what I mean about the fitting of the upper hull and lower hull, fits really nice. It really does fit nice, no problems. But as you can see, there's big holes. But even the fenders, well, where they are, the parts are in here. I kept them just, you know, even when after I cut them off, they weren't underneath enough. But luckily now, when I add these ones, it solves the problem. It really does solve that problem of the seeing the tracks. So I'm quite happy. That's why you can't see us. So yeah, so once that's on and fastened on, and when I put it together, you're going to lose that hole, which is good. So it's working in. I'm glad they decided to get the fenders. So yeah, so that's about it. It's where I'm at the moment. So working away at it. I'll do a little bit more today, and we're ready for another update. I think once I've got the actual build complete, I'll probably just do another update when it's done, when the actual building part is done. So yeah, so that's everything I've got to show you. Yep, it is indeed. So thank you very much for popping and viewing and having a look at the new build. Quite happy with it so far. I haven't decided if I want to put on a small dial. Oh, sorry, I've got to show you a barrel yet, haven't I? Sorry, I'll get that in a second. I want to decide if I'm going to do a small dial or not. I haven't quite decided yet. I might just do the figures and the tank, if you know what I mean. I'll see how we get on first, because I really would like to try and get it finished for the group build, which is until end of February. But the way I build it, it's probably about the right limit for me. So I'll show you the barrel anyhow. Because I bought a barrel, I didn't want a two-piece barrel. I told you I had the resin one, didn't I? So I had to cut the end of the, because it was just basically for the 122. It had a lip round the edge of the top of the muzzle, sorry, top of the gun. So I do solve on it. Luckily it's aluminium, so it came off quite well. And I just sanded the interior down, and same with the actual gun breech as well. Sorry, gun breech, the gun extractor, fume extractor. Oh, brain's dead today. So I've added a bit of detail on there. One of my subscribers said there is a seam mark, because they were cast in two places, but the seam mark on the actual barrel that I got plastic ran the other way, so I had to cover it up anyhow. And then I just got some stretched sprue and added a seam line to the barrel, if you can quite see that, on both sides. So it fits nice. I've had to jiggery pokery around with the mantlet, but it does fit. Only thing is I've had to take the bolts off the front. Oops, sorry. It fits nicely, but the barrel is slightly too big, and see where the nuts are, where there's 4 nuts should be. I'll put 4 smaller ones on once I've got the gun placed. But I have ordered one that's built specifically for the 122, so I'm going to compare the two first. See if this part here, where it attaches to the mantlet, is narrower. And then I can add the nuts. I kept the nuts off when I sliced them off, so I can reattach them. But yeah, it's going to look nice when it's done, I hope. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get the barrel this week coming up. Mind you, we've got the postage strikes over here in the UK, so things are taking a bit longer to get to us than they normally do. But yeah, so I'm quite happy with where things are at the moment. It goes that way. Loops in there, that goes on there. Yeah, so that's where we are. Right, I think that's it, definitely finished now. So thank you very much for popping in and viewing, and thank you to all my subscribers, new and old, and we shall see you with another update once the build is complete, the actual building part of it. So this is Greg signing off, and we shall catch you very, very soon.